Can I ask you a food-related question?
Well, go ahead. It's going to be some nonsense, I'm pretty
It's not
sure.
going to be nonsense. Will you be nice? This is your show. You have to be a nice host, I guess is the point. Um, have you been following
Do you listen to this show
have you
very
been,
often?
have you been following the Diddy trial?
The Diddy trial. We've talked about Daddy Diddy
Months ago,
and all
but
the little itty bitty
the
ditties
trial
months
is
ago.
happening right now. Have you been following it at all?
Well, I haven't been. I haven't been like reviewing the notes of the day every evening, but I do watch a lot of local news, which does have a minute or a minute and a half of break-ins of some really, especially it poor old afternoon, not Gilbert Corsi, but Scott Reynolds on WDRB. When they have him on, he's an older white fella. As Jim Ross said one time about Bob Caudle, he's the epitome of a white man wearing brown shoes. And he has to talk about something, even though they're phrasing the things for local broadcast television in a day part where kids are watching. He's still, you could, his face is turning red and his lip is trembling, having to talk. And then with the urination began or whatever he's fucking saying. So yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Those are some of the more dirty.
A little bitty about Diddy.
Okay. Well, those are some of the more salacious stories that have gotten out there. Here's one of the more underreported ones. I have an article from the New York Post here by 4 different people. I don't know how 4 people wrote this article, but we'll find out. Jurors at bombshell Diddy trial learn disgusting way he likes his burgers as ex-employees testify. So we will move on from here, find out what you, the cheeseburger connoisseur.
All right, but now wait a minute. Ain't gonna be baby oil. He doesn't fry them in baby oil, does he?
I don't think that's healthy. No, I don't think you can do that.
It might be fattening.
That's what Elvis's mom used to do for him. Apparently, was fry his banana.
You know,
sandwiches.
I swear to God, it is a method way down south, way down yonder in the pawpaw patch, that they would take fucking lard or oil in the pan and melt it, get it hot and everything, and then put burgers in it and fry it. And there's a place in Memphis that still does their burgers in the grease that they have been recycling for 100 years. I think it's Dyer's, is it not?
I think
everyone
who goes there probably Dyer's right
well,
after they leave.
I'm trying to think of the name of the place, but it's on Beale Street. But they're good. But
people are gonna Beale over with that fucking grease.
It's not even appetizing to me to just have lard or oil or grease in the pan and then put the burger in on top of that and then it mixes with all the other. That's too much even for me. But go ahead.
Back to this article here. He's a bad apple. Sean Diddy Combs bizarrely puts applesauce on his cheeseburgers. Disgusted jurors twice heard this week in the Bad Boy Records founder's Manhattan trial as his former assistant spilled the secrets from the witness stand.
Well, can you stop here for a second? First of all, with what he is accused of, I wondered how this came up in the line of questioning to begin with. And secondly, what the fuck is wrong with this guy now? And the jurors apparently agree with me now. We've heard that he's goddamn throwing people out of windows and pissing on people on a daily habit and fucking doing all this other. But goddamn applesauce on a cheeseburger, no, they've gone too far. The jurors turned away in shock.
The second mention of Combs' fondness for applesauce-laden cheeseburgers came Thursday, as his ex-employee George Kaplan testified about his use of a black Amex card, the nickname for the highly exclusive American Express Centurion card. Kaplan told defense attorney Mark Agnifilo, or something like that, that Combs' staff used the card to buy everything the music mogul requested, including baby oil, yacht leases, and villas. The attorney asked, what about applesauce?
Wait a minute. I can understand. Hold on. I can understand you needing the black American Express Centurion card to lease yachts and buy villas. But I'm pretty sure that with my regular old American Express card that I have, I could buy enough baby oil to even last Diddy for a while.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you've seen any of the photos of all the baby oil they got out of his room when he was in New York to surrender. Like, this wasn't like, we've captured you. This was the shit he was traveling with right before he's like, all right, the jig is up. This is his, like, go-to baby oil, his carrying baby oil.
He's got a guy with a steamer trunk full of baby oil with him when he goes to a picnic.
Listen, I want you to go out and get all this baby oil. Are you sure? You know you're about to, like, go away, right? No, get all of this. But let me go back to this.
All right.
Kaplan told defense attorney about baby oil, yacht leases, and villas. Applesauce? Asked the attorney. Mr. Combs loves applesauce and eats it on the side or on top of a lot of things, Kaplan responded. Cheesburgers? Cheesburgers being one of them. The lawyer asked if it was possible for Combs to track all those charges. His world was the size of the earth, Kaplan said. He was doing business all over the world. Frankly, to think that he knew where some of these things were coming from is unrealistic. The eccentric applesauce burger pairing also came. The eccentric applesauce burger pairing also came up Tuesday as David James, another of Combs' former assistants, testified about his time working for the hip-hop star. James, who said he was responsible for Combs' riders, was asked what his former boss required and used ketchup as an example. When Combs went to the UK, he traveled with American ketchup because British tomato sauce is not the same, James said. James also packed applesauce because Combs loved it so much that he even put it on his burgers. Were you aware that he put applesauce on his cheeseburgers, the lawyer asked?
Where were you when he put the applesauce on his cheeseburger, sir?
I was not aware, but I knew he liked applesauce, James said. Jurors grimaced when the lawyer mentioned that Combs liked applesauce on his cheeseburgers, with one of the panelists making a gag-like gesture.
A woman seated in the front of the jury box collapsed and had to be taken out for oxygen.
The saucy digressions were more lighthearted than the former assistant's hair-raising tales of Combs' alleged violence and abuse of his gal pals, and then it goes into detail there, but that was the applesauce portion. To get back to the question, applesauce on a cheeseburger, what are your thoughts?
Well, no, I've never heard of such a thing and would not be in favor of such a thing. And frankly, I think that the charges or the penalties against this individual should be doubled in some type of aggravated abuse of foodstuffs. Where normally if you put applesauce on your cheeseburger, you should get X amount of time, 2 to 5 years. In this case, it ought to be aggravated. It ought to double the potential time. This individual sounds dangerous to me.
Do they give you...
Now, the other stuff, maybe he could get off with a fine.
I don't know you know the answer to this, and it's actually a serious question. Do you have ketchup or applesauce in prison?
Oh, well, that's what I was going to say about the only time that I've been on his side so far is when he had the concept of taking the ketchup to England, because the ketchup's not the same, except it's only a concept there because, to be honest with you, if you go, and I love my friends all over the UK, but we've talked about this from my trips there in the 2000 teens. We went over this in detail. If you go from America to England, American ketchup is the least of your priorities. You're wanting the basics, like goddamn ice, biscuits that are biscuits, bacon that's bacon, fucking a variety of, normal things that you come to expect, and you order shit and they set it down in front of you. You're like, what the fuck is that going to? Stace sent one of her room service orders back because the shit that she ordered, I can't remember what it was or what she thought it was, but neither one of us had ever seen what she ordered look like that. So we thought that they got it wrong. And then they called back and said, oh, well, yeah, we'll make you another. And it was the same fucking thing. What was the question?
Applesauce on cheeseburgers.
That's pure applesauce is what that is. I think Diddy's in trouble now. He might as well kiss freedom goodbye. And ketchup or applesauce or whatever it's not going to be the only sauce that he gets in prison, I'm sure.
There was another article this week about like one of the hotel managers or something saying that whenever Diddy checked in, they always tacked on an extra $1,000 for all the damage that would happen from candle wax and baby oil. Would $1,000 really cover that kind of cleanup from baby oil and candle wax?
What? I mean, what was it on the ceiling? What was, I don't know.
I don't know what he was, they said it was all over the place. I mean, I don't know if he's just like dripping candles everywhere and I don't know what the fuck's happening. With applesauce?
I would think you'd have to just discard the linens and any bedding involved, whether it be for applesauce or candle wax or baby oil or sealing wax or whatever, or ships or whatever the case. But I think they would probably bring, who are the Stanley steamer people in to do the steaming thing and the hazmat suit and everything. That would cost more than $1,000. Are you continuing to question me now?
Well, no, what I'm saying is we will stay on top of these major issues, the issues that the mainstream media may not be focusing on, but here at Cornette News, we'll make sure that you know anything happening in the world of cheeseburger arts.
Yes, because, we want the people to get the real story around here, not this skewed perspective.
Do you like applesauce?
All this other. I have eaten applesauce. I'm not against applesauce. If there's applesauce in front of me and I'm hungry, I will eat it, but I will never seek it out or order it when there are other options to be had. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know where you would order it. I mean, it comes with latkes, potato pancakes, and that's delicious. But other than that, I never really see on a menu. I guess I don't look. Just
well, no. If you go over at the IHOP,
I guess the kids.
If you're at IHOP, they got applesauce and probably Bob Evans. And they make at Bob Evans for the senior crowd. They make a special kind of applesauce out of prunes. So it looks like some kind of cranberry pudding, but then it'll make you just shit your brains out by the time you get out to the car. That's why you see a lot of elderly people with fucking plastic slip covers over their seats in their car after they go to Bob Evans.
Where do you stand on ketchup? Is Heinz the only acceptable ketchup? What do you do if you're stuck with Hunt's ketchup? What are your thoughts?
Well, I get Heinz ketchup because I don't eat ketchup maybe 2 or 3 times a year. I will dip some French fries in it, once again, if it's in front of me. But otherwise, I'm not a ketchup person. I like remoulade. I like tartar sauce. I like mayonnaise. I like the Chick-fil-A chicken sauce. I like ranch dressing. I like a variety of dippings, and ketchup to me is too pedestrian and a little acidic. But again, it's not like the bane of anyone's existence like yellow mustard, which is despicable and should be eradicated from the earth.
And you're separating yellow mustard from spicy brown mustard, which kind of looks yellow?
Yeah, spicy brown mustard on a big old hot dog, or maybe even a turkey and bacon sandwich. Now that can add a little pizzazz, but the yellow mustard is just blech.
All right, well, this is your black show.
Are you taking notes?
Yeah.
All right, well then you won't have to ask me again, because I can't tell you how many people I get on Twitter trying to get me to educate you on how to eat because of your odd and bizarre habits concerning your food.
Oh yeah.
Mr. French Toast.